Alright, so this is the kit we're using. You know, we spared no expense, just like everything else. It's the Harbor Freight Purple Special. Um, you know, you put the paint in there and it spits it out the front. That's all I can tell you. But we got all this other crap on here that makes life a little miserable. We got pressure regulator, which is really just a flow valve, and then we have our water trap, and that really makes the thing ungainly. I mean, I would much prefer not having this and not having this and being able to adjust the pressure here, which you can do, but you're just guessing at whatever pressure you have. Now, if you're talented enough and familiar enough with the gun, I suppose you could do that. Right now, to be fair, I have the regulator on the compressor set at about 55 psi, and I've got a pretty good run of air hose out to the bouncy booth. And by the time I get there and squeeze the trigger, I'm at 22, 25, somewhere around there, pressure wise. So in theory, and that's with this valve wide open, in theory, if I took all that shit off, and then just used that, I would have the same fixed pressure. But you don't know if these things, then this may be reducing my flow pressure quite a bit, so anyway, it's workable. We got this spiffy stand and if I had a complaint, it's that this ring refuses to stay put. It wants to swivel around, and it wants to swivel around, and it wants to be everywhere but above the paint thing. So its natural sort of habitat is off to the side. So if you're thinking about using one of these, pay attention. I don't know, put a set screw or something in there. I don't know, it just slips on over there. It must be the way it's made or something. I don't know. But doesn't seem to want to stay put. But it gives a nice place to set the gun. And of course, I spilled paint all over it in the first 5 minutes, so can't keep anything nice. And then we got these highfalutin mixing cups. And you might as well just buy yourself a box of those, or a dozen at least, because they're use them once and throw them away, really. So that's it. That's the kit. Well, as we listen to the whine of the turbinator back there, keeping our bouncy booth inflated, it's 8 o'clock at night, and I think that's about as far as we are going to go today. We primered, we sanded, we washed, we wiped it down with some kind of juju oil, and we got to think about applying paint, and hopefully that'll be tomorrow. This primer is so light it almost looks white, and then with the bouncy house being sort of blue, you get like a bluish tint on everything. But I have decided against 2 coats of primer. I got lots of 2 reasons. Too old, too fat, too lazy, too hot. Pick one. you know, this car already had a coat of primer on it, and we basically put this coat on to cover up some of the gypsy white that we had put on there. So hopefully we get tomorrow, maybe mid-afternoon, we can watch the weather, we can put some color white on this thing. I got to work up to it. You got to be prepared for it. So, you know, when you get ready to paint, let's make sure that that's the only thing you have to do is paint. That's been my problem all along. I got too many things to do and not enough hours in the day or energy, and this job has spread out over quite a few days, and well, it's just what it is. So let's hope that we get some color on. It'll look okay. As my tutor on YouTube says, don't overthink it, it's just paint.
Well, we had a little rain last night, and this is the result. Looks like we got ourselves a big collection of water right there. Brought the house down. Fortunately, I think if we can get the water out of there, we'll be okay. We'll find out. Okay, got her lifted up, rain dumped off, back to some kind of normal. Definitely don't want to leave them up in the rain, but sometimes you got no choice. So maybe today we'll spray some white paint.
And I hear those fans blowing in my sleep. Well, I don't know how this looks on your end, but it's white. I can say that much. We'll have to wait till it really sets up and get it outside in the sun to see how bad we did. Kind of hard to tell. Just let it cool and chill in here for a while. Well, we're getting the all of our masking tape and paper off, and pretty evident now. We ended up with the proverbial two-tone paint job, orange and white. So a little bit more work. We're going to have to let this sit for a while, you know, 24 hours at least, maybe 48 even, and get some 1000 grit, 1500 grit sandpaper, and try to work some of this texture down and see if we can buff it, get it to look a little better. It is at least all white. I think that's one good thing, but more work. Whatever we did, don't know how well that turns out on camera, but we were consistent, so it's pretty much the same everywhere. My suspicion would be that it was just too hot, and we probably needed to spray this a little wetter. I think I used warm temperature reducer, but maybe there was a step above I should have used. But at any rate, we got some texture in there, so We're just gonna have to work it out. Just trying to get get it uncovered and looking like a car. Quit doing that. All right, we've started the cut and buff process, as they want to call it. Getting rid of this textured finish and turning it into something a little more realistic. And you might be able to see reflection in the paint there and a shadow there. So taking a little bit of work. What we did here, we sprayed some guide coat on there, and then we had our little orbital sander with some 2000, and it worked okay. And we took some 1500 paper on a block and worked a little bit more, and then went over it again with the 2000, and then just went over it with some compound and the buffer. Haven't put any polish on it yet, but I can tell you that it's 1000% better. Now, we don't push too far down to the edges or too far into the peaks because easy to burn through. We'll work on those slowly, but we're going to do this other side, and what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to start with some 1000 wet or dry on the battery orbital sander, and see how that knocks things down, and then do the 2000. We can go 3000 and 5000 if we want, but with this white, I think it's going to be okay. We don't want to take any more material off than we have to, and maybe we can save this paint job. It's going to take a fair amount of work. I started with the deck lid because if I screw it up, I can pop it off and repaint it separately. So the big job is going to be the roof, and I think we'll do the quarter panels and the tops of the doors and the fenders, and I'm a lot less worried about the bottom of the doors, although we can work on those. But the further down the car you go, nobody's going to get down on their hands and knees and look at the paint, but we certainly like to get it smooth. But at least we're getting a little bit of shine, so we'll stay with it. Now, that guide coat, just probably some black primer. You just mist it on there, and then of course it goes on the high spots and the low spots, so you just want to keep sanding until it's all gone. So there we have the other side of the deck lid done, and a little bit more reflection there than over here it could be. I mean, the sun's almost down, so it's going to be hard to tell. We'll have to see what it looks like in the sunlight, but really a lot better, nice and smooth. And so far we haven't burned through any edges. We've been slaving away on this Pinto paint job. It's starting to come around. Got some wet sanding. A couple of places we've used 800 and then 1000 and then 1500 and 2000. We got to be careful that we just don't get carried away. We got a spot right there that we're going to have to redo because we went through the paint, but pretty much have the front end done. The hood, 99% of it came out pretty nice, and I'm going to have to hope that I can blend in that spot there with some fresh paint. I got that little detail gun and a little spot there right on the peak, but I think the fenders are good. We still have to do the roof, which is going to be the big project, and this side down here, we've done the other side. We haven't buffed it yet, but just a little bit every day. I think it helped quite a bit that we let the car sit for a week and let the paint cure a little better before we attacked it. So it's all good. You know, we painted our own car. Looks like we painted our own car, but we only have to please ourselves. It looks a whole lot better than it did before, and you know, from 10 feet away it's perfect. So as I said, I only have to please myself. A lot of things I would do differently if I was going to do it again, but I can tell you this, it won't be in the summertime. We'll wait till the fall if we do another one. But there you have it, a white Pinto.